Gemini, twins, Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Gemini is a sign of the Zodiac. It is located in the northern celestial hemisphere and was one of the 48 constellations described by the 2nd century AD astronomer Ptolemy. It remains one of the 94 modern constellations today. Its name comes from the Latin word geminus, twofold, twin. And whichever astrological system we look at, and wherever we go in the world, it means the same, twins. Gemelli is the Italian name, and this is the astrological glyph. Tweedledum is the Anglo-Saxon name. Gamos, the modern French name. Greek didymus means twin or double. Al-Sawaman was the name used by the Arabian astronomers, but it meant the twins. As such, this archetype, this concept, for that is what it is, must be immensely important. For this many ancient seers to have allocated a portion of the sky in order that it can be described. Some details of the constellation. Gemini is the third astrological sign in the Zodiac. Under the tropical Zodiac, the Sun transits this sign between about May the 21st to June the 21st. Under the sidereal Zodiac, the Sun transits this sign from about June the 16th to July the 16th. Astrologers say, and I quote, "It is a positive, mutable sign." Mutable means it ends one of the 4 seasons, in Gemini's case, spring. And again I quote, "Positive signs tend to focus energy outward and be more self-expressive, whilst negative signs tend to focus their energy inward and be more receptive." And in addition, astrologers say Gemini is ruled by Hermes, Mercury. See our video on Odin, weather control, and the Mercury archetype. The Mercury archetype is the Sun in the Trinity of Father, Mother and Son, and we have a video on this symbolism, an introduction to Mother, Father and Son symbolism. So in this latter video we have the beginnings of an explanation, for we can see that the symbol of the Sun has been further elaborated by splitting it into 2, the twins, and Juan Eduardo Serlo, pictured, explains this well in his Dictionary of Symbols. A careful study of primitive traditions and of the mythologies of the more advanced cultures has enabled us to draw the conclusion that most of them incorporate the symbol of the twins. We have the Vedic Asvins, Mitra and Varuna, Liber and Libera, Romulus and Remus, Isis and Osiris, Apollo and Artemis, Castor and Pollux, Amphion and Zethus, or Orion and Orion. They are always mythic beings, born of an immortal father and a mortal mother. The twin Indian Ashvins are depicted with one in light and the other in shadow, as if the chariot they draw is ever running along the borderline of dusk. Most commonly, one of the twins signifies the eternal side of man. The other twin indicates the mortal side. However, they also symbolise the counterbalancing principles of good and evil, and hence the twins are occasionally portrayed as mortal enemies. And this is Tenniel's illustration in Alice Through the Looking Glass, showing Tweedledum and Tweedledee, the twins from the nursery rhyme. Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle, for Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow, as black as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their quarrel. Mortal and immortal. All Gemini twins are the same sex. From this we know they do not represent the Hieros Gamos or mystic marriage of the masculine and feminine. See video Union and the Lovers in the Tarot. As such, this is a different kind of union, summed up by Solo in the phrase, one of the twins signifies the eternal side of man, the other twin indicates the mortal side. And we could almost leave it there, because as Solo says, Gemini represents the division of all human beings into the mortal and the immortal. Except that is not really an explanation, because the obvious question is, how? Castles and bricks. We have a video that describes the symbolism of the castle. See the symbolism of tents, houses, castles, and stately homes. These days, the same concept is also described symbolically as a house, even a city. The cells of the body are often likened to bricks, as in, the human body is built out of billions of bricks, the cells, or the cells are the building bricks of life, etc. And a symbol for Gemini was pile of bricks. The Siberian name for the month May-June, when the sun was in Gemini, signified bricks. Allen star names. So what is implied here is that man, the castle, is symbolically built from a vast number of cells, all of which are Gemini. That is, all are dual. Every last cell in our body has two parts, an invisible to our perception system part which might be termed dark matter, and the visible to our perception system light body, the body we think is real. Identical twins. Marcus Manilius was a Roman poet, astrologer and author of a poem in 5 books called Astronomica. From his comments it is clear that the original Gemini was male, and the twins were entirely identical. Thus many of the depictions which later appeared have diverged from this. Manilius. Tender Gemini, in strict embrace, stand closed and smiling in each other's face, and were figured as 2 boys, or young men, drawn exactly alike, so like they were, no mortal might one from other know. Symbolically, his comments reinforce the symbolism explained by J.E. Serlo and explained by Aladdin's star names, that every cell in our body is supported by the mirror of it which animates it. Form is supported by invisible function at every level of the aggregate. The myth and the constellation. These days the constellation has two major stars in it, which have been called Castor and Pollux, Polyduces. As we have seen, there were numerous myths and twins that could have been used to name the stars, but Castor and Polyduces, Pollux, are the Greek Dioscuri. Dioscuri from Dios, God, and Kurai, boys, the sons of Dios, God, or the sons of Zeus. The myth used to explain the symbolism has the twins as the sons of Leda, wife of Tyndareus, the king of Sparta. Castor was the mortal son of Tyndareus, and Pollux the divine son of Zeus, who seduced Leda in the guise of a swan. They were born or hatched from an egg, and were pictured with half of the seabed egg on each of their heads as a cap or helmet. So Tweedledee and Tweedledum are shown egg-shaped, identical, and with an egg-shaped cap on their heads in Tenniel's illustration of them. Professor Marcel Griol. Conversations with Ogotomele. An introduction to Dogon religious ideas. He was anxious to find out what Ogotomele had to say about something which seemed to him to be highly significant, namely the special earthenware reserved for twins. These objects have a peculiar shape. Each consists of two shallow round cups, 5 to 6 centimetres in diameter, joined together at the edge like a wide-open oyster shell. There was something of this sort in the celestial granary at the top of the pyramid of superimposed jars placed at the point of intersection of the lower interior partitions. The two cups, joined side by side, said Ogotomele, are like twins of the same shape and size.